So I've put in very little amount of thought when it comes to compiling this list. And the reason why is because I wanted this to be as raw as possible and essentially only list the tools that I am constantly reaching for, and thus these will be the most helpful if I'm constantly reaching for this, as I'm constantly doing SEO and I basically use these tools on a daily basis, and these tools are both free and paid tools. So first of all, why listen to me? Well, my name's Sakes and I've used these tools on small e-commerce sites as well as large e-commerce sites, including a multi-billion-dollar e-commerce company. I've managed the SEO for multiple SEO agencies in the UK and I've been doing it for 8 years. So I've been around the block and I've used a whole bunch of tools and I've managed to boil it down to really the 10 best tools. So what this video is not is me trying to get a commission out of you, and no bullshit tools that are bloat and barely add value. You're constantly going to be using these tools. So let's get straight into it. So first and foremost, use your brain. This is not oftenly used enough and it's free. So let's just say, for example, you're trying to analyze a keyword if you can compete with it, and one of the competitors, it has a domain authority of 85, and when you put it into Ahrefs as a domain authority of only 10, that's their domain rating system. And if you put it into SEMrush, it has a domain rating of 12. Well, those are two very drastic differences in their domain authority. So which tool do you trust? Well, it's up to you to go ahead and analyze. Take a look at their backlinks. Take a look at their content, see if it's actually good. Are they getting a lot of traffic? And one of the things that I would be telling is, if they get a lot of traffic, then it's probably worth that domain authority. If they're not, then they've probably manipulated it. So you've got to use your brain when using these tools, because again, they're just tools. They can be wrong at times. Next up is something I constantly use, and that's Screaming Frog. There's both a free and paid version. It's free up to 500 URLs. And this is mainly for technical SEO. So you have to pay for it once a year. It costs £200, which is very reasonable. And you can crawl so many things like your images, your headings. You can do custom extractions. You look at your page speed, see how fast it's loading. Look at your XML sitemaps, your canonicals, all sorts of stuff. This is more for technical stuff. If you're into technical SEO, you probably already used this. Next up is Easy SEO Extension. Now, full disclaimer, I do own this tool. It's free and paid. It's basically free at this point. And this is a very simple tool and I use it the most, which is the whole reason why I created it. And it basically gives you a whole load of, and my internet's not working right now because I'm in the shed, but essentially it gives you a whole load of lists that you're going to be interested in, like seeing what your meta title is. Is it too long? Is it too short? Is there self-referencing canonical? Okay, it looks like the internet's come back. So you can see the title tag, you can see the meta description, and it'll tell you if it's too long or too short. So if it's too long, it'll cut off and it'll say red, too long. It'll show you the page size. It'll give you hidden checks, like if there's a missing H1 on the page. It'll show you the headings. You can highlight the headings. You can find semantically related keywords. You can see if there's any broken links. You can look at the schema. It's even got its own keyword tool. You can do some JavaScript checks. There's a lot going on in this tool, and this is by far my most used tool because it's a Chrome extension. I'm constantly reaching for it whenever I'm on a page. Highly, 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 highly recommend it. Next up is, of course, SEMrush. Now, you can use Ahrefs, which is the competitor, essentially the biggest competitor, but I prefer SEMrush myself. It's basically great for keyword research, backlink analysis. It'll guesstimate your traffic and it can do brief audits. It's not going to do a screaming frog audit, but it'll do a brief audit. And you can use this. You can see the authority, and again, different tools have their own metrics when it comes to this. You can see the organic traffic. You can see what keywords they rank for. You can even see their paid keywords, their referring domains, so you can take a look at the backlinks. And yeah, this is what the free version of SEMrush looks like. Highly recommend it. And next up is Slack. Now, I know this isn't directly a SEO tool, but it's going to help you communicate. So if you've got a team, you're going to need some kind of communication software. It doesn't matter if it's Slack or there's a Microsoft version, Microsoft Teams. It doesn't really matter. It's going to help you communicate, and essentially it's a must if you're doing SEO with others. Next up is a similar one, and both of these are free and paid versions. So Asana. So Asana essentially is going to organize what you're doing, your projects. So you'll have different, you can organize it in different ways, so they can be bullet points, or you can use it as a board. It's very easy to use as well. When you first get into it, it can feel a little bit daunting, but you will get used to it. Highly recommend those two. It doesn't matter if you use Slack or Microsoft Team, or if you're using Asana or another version or another competitor. I used to use Jira, which is basically a much bigger version for agencies, but essentially they all do the same thing. Next up is ChatGPT, or any kind of mainstream AI tool, and they're both free and paid versions, of course. And you can get away with a lot when it comes to the free version of these AI tools. So what are some of the benefits? So it helps you write better copy for your visitors, so you can answer objections, you can find the benefits of your product. It helps you create content briefs, so you can make sure you're covering every single topic, every single aspect of a topic. So for example, in ChatGPT, I put, I am selling purple motorbike helmets. Give me a list of objections and concerns a potential customer may have. And that's exactly what it's done. So fit and comfort, so objection, will my head fit properly? Helmets can be uncomfortable if the sizing is off. Safety standards, does the helmet meet safety standards? I need to be sure it offers proper protection. Durability, is the helmet durable and last long enough? Color preferences, purple is not a common color for a motorbike. Will it look good with my bike and gear? Visibility, will a purple helmet make me visible enough on the road? Price, is the price for the helmet justified? Ventilation, this is one thing I didn't think of. So does the helmet provide enough ventilation for long rides? Brand reputation, weight, interior padding, aerodynamics, and a bunch of other stuff. So like sun visor, shield quality, I would never have thought of that. Noise reduction, same thing. I wouldn't have thought of that, probably because I don't ride motorbikes. But ChatGPT, or any version of it, any mainstream AI tool, is going to be a big help when it comes to creating copy. And I'm not saying copy and paste it, I'm saying use it to get more ideas. So in this example, you've got a list of objections, but you're not sure what other objections your customer may have. So ChatGPT can help you get more of those objections. Next up is Google Search Console. You're probably all already using this, or at least I hope. But essentially, it's data that comes straight from Google, and it's one of the best SEO tools you're going to use. I constantly use this. It helps with technical issues, keyword research, internal linking, even looking at your backlinks. Next up is Mozbar. Now this is quite an old tool, but it still works, still gets the job done. It basically, in a nutshell, helps you understand the strength of a domain better. So you've got a particular domain, you probably can't see it because I'd need to zoom in, but this Mozbar, it says it has a domain authority of 86, which is obviously very high. And you can cross compare it with something like SEMrush to see what SEMrush says about the domain authority, or Ahrefs, or whichever one you're using, and basically helps you determine if you can compete with a keyword. Last but not least, I don't use this a ton, but it's still something that's helpful to me, because these other 9 I use every day, but this I use it almost every day, so I still use it a lot, and that's Google Analytics. So you've probably already installed it. If you haven't, what are you doing? So if you're e-commerce, you need this essentially, so you can track purchases, track your traffic sources, and a lot more, so you can see which devices users are coming from. So if they're coming a lot from desktop, what's that tell you? You probably need to optimize for desktop. And if you're serious about learning more about e-commerce SEO, I highly recommend going to my YouTube channel. and just going to e-commerce SEO course, beginner to advanced tactics, and I'll go over tactics and essentially everything you need to know. Well, not everything, a lot of what you need to know, the most important things, and it's under an hour long. Highly recommend it. And yeah, that's the second video since I've been back, and I'll be creating 28 more videos. Sorry about the lighting in here. I'm in my shed because I wasn't able to record inside. There's some work going on. But yeah, that's it for this video. And if you need any help with your e-commerce business, I'll leave a link in the comments below. I'll see you tomorrow.